Welcome to the channel. This is part 4 of the encapsulated silicone prosthetic fabrication series. And in part 4 we're going to deal with the cap plastic. I have two versions of the cap plastic. One's the acetone based, which is the Smooth-On's cue balls, and the other is Mould Life's Super Baldies, which is alcohol based. There are two websites you can go to for material safety data sheets. One's the MSDS and the other is SCRIBD, which is a digital library. That's a subscription-based website. As you can see here, this cue balls, it's way past its shelf life. I have to reconstitute both of them. Since I have been dabbling in makeup effects or any mold making or anything like that, most of my products are way past their shelf life, almost dried up. Here are the two molds. The one on the left is the second mold I made. I'm using 99% alcohol to clean off both molds before I use a spray release. My spray release is Man 200. In the process of fabricating mold number 2, it developed a lip in the flashing trough. You want to remove something like that for the possibility of your casting material, which is silicone, bonding to this silicone mold. Using petroleum jelly is more of a conditioning than it is a release. I've learned this from Neil Gordon, English makeup effects artist. See here, this is mold number 2 with the hump in the center, so it doesn't quite lay flat, so that poses some little problems later when you're casting your material of distortion. But this is not that bad. So just got to be careful when I do run the appliances. So before I run the actual appliances, I'll be getting another Smooth-On product for these molds. It's called Inhibit X, that ensures that when I'm casting my silicone for the appliances, that it doesn't bond to the molds. For this demonstration I used a brush, a bristle brush, an acid brush. I don't advise when you actually run your prosthetic piece to use a brush at all, and especially not a sponge. I don't know why I used the word sponge in the previous video of applying cap plastic. That's just a waste of material. Your material will be soaked up by the sponge. The brush is very uneven. The bristle brush, that is. So when I go to actually cast my appliances, I'll be using an airbrush. By this time I think I did 4 layers with the brush. This is the pin test. Let's see. What is supposed to happen is it lifts up and it stays up like a little pop-up tent. It was too thin, so I added more layers. I think I added 5 to 6 layers. You can see how uneven it is with the brush. So you definitely want to use an airbrush for this process. And this is what you want. You want the little pop-up tent. Pretty strong. Also, by using a bristle brush, you develop microscopic air bubbles. You'll see in a little bit when I pull up all the cap plastic, there's little microscopic air bubbles in it. So ultimately, you want to use an airbrush to apply your cap plastic. Here's where you can really see little microscopic air bubbles from using a brush. So I wouldn't advise using a brush at all. Use an airbrush. Little air bubbles. Somewhat of a success. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 5 of In the Lab, casting the appliance.